Yo guys, what's up? It's your boy TRUEDBZ back with another review video. But this isn't a normal review. This is part 2 in a 4-part series of reviews going through the Sly Cooper franchise, as it's the anniversary month of the series. In today's video, I will be reviewing Sly 2 Band of Thieves. The main topics of this review will be general information, gameplay, game modes, visuals, audio, and ending with my overall opinions and rating of the game. Before we get into today's topic, please hit the like and subscribe button at the end if you enjoyed the video. It does wonders to the channel and helps me to stay motivated to create more content like this. Also, be sure to check out my links below. In the description are my links to my Twitter and Twitch, my channel artist page bossumans on Twitter and TikTok where he posts his artworks and commissions, and my playlists are there as well to provide you with more of my content. With all of that out of the way, let's get into today's review. Sly 2 Band of Thieves is a stealth action platformer, available on all PlayStation consoles, developed by Sucker Punch Productions, published by Sony Computer Entertainment, released on September 14th, 2004 on the PlayStation 2, and sold over 1 million copies. The goal of the game is to complete missions with Sly, Bentley, and Murray to set up the heist at the end of the episode, which usually has a boss fight. Similar to Sly Cooper and the Thieves Raccoonus, the game uses an episode-based gameplay loop. Each episode has a hub world with around 8 missions on average and a heist at the end. Mission variety comes in the fact that now in Sly 2, you can play as every member in the Cooper gang. There is some mission-specific gimmicks like rhythm games, turret shooting, and vehicle gameplay. The controls overall is very similar to Sly 1, with some new additions. R1 is now a run button which allows you to move faster, but you are vulnerable to attacks as characters can be detected while running close by enemies. L3 is the ping button that shows available missions through beacons in the sky. R3 is for the binocucom, a gadget that works like binoculars, and for Bentley specifically, can shoot sleep darts from. Sly obtained a new ability in using the circle button near an enemy called pickpocketing, where you can steal coins and treasures. The triangle button, which used to be used for power-ups, now provides a different attack in an uppercut for Sly and Murray, while Bentley is able to place and drop bombs. Speaking of power-ups, this aspect has been reworked. Now you can select up to 3 power-ups to be used and combine them to L1, L2, and R2. They also now have a meter bound to them, so you can't use them endlessly. Sly 2 Band of Thieves is the easiest game in the series. This probably doesn't mean much since the Sly series is easy overall, but thanks to the strong power-ups, the inclusion of a health bar, and the overhaul of the game's episode structure, the game is by far the easiest in the series to beat, and the gap is even wider if we're talking about 100% completion. The only means for progression outside the main story are the returning clue bottles and the hub world treasures. The clue bottles return from Sly 1, but slightly different. Instead of clue bottles being found in individual levels, now in Sly 2, clue bottles can be found in the hub worlds, and there are only 30 per world. Same as in Sly 1, if you find all the clue bottles, you will be able to unlock a vault and earn a power-up for Sly. The hub world treasures can be found in specific areas. There are 3 of them per episode and are relatively easy to find. The goal is to bring them to the safe house without taking damage. Some of them has a timer attached, so if you don't make it to the safe house in time, you have to redo it. After you make it to the safe house, you can sell the treasures for coins. Once again, the power-ups are where the unique mechanics shine. Now with 3 playable characters, the power-ups are more varied and are more useful than in Sly 1. Sly's power-ups are mostly about stealth and distractions. Bentley uses his power-ups for stronger gadgets, and Murray has close quarters combat related power-ups. Like in Sly Cooper and the Thieves Raccoonus, this game only has one game mode, that being the main story with optional collectibles. Sly 2 Band of Thieves has the best story of all the games. My reason is the quality of the Cooper Gang's character arcs and the antagonists. Sly, Bentley, and Murray goes through unique character arcs throughout the story, leading to interesting storytelling. The Claw Gang is my favorite villain organization in the series. Dimitri, Rajan, the Contessa, John Bison, Arpeggio, and Neyla all manage to be threatening, entertaining, and has an end goal that makes sense when all the pieces come together. The story begins with Sly, Bentley, and Murray, now all on the field, breaking into the Cairo Museum of Natural History to steal Clockwerk's body parts that were saved from his volcano base. Sly finds out that the Clockwerk parts were already stolen. Carmelita and Neyla, two Interpol officers, catches Sly, and the Cooper Gang has to escape. But not before Neyla gives Sly information on the Claw Gang being the reason why the Clockwerk parts are gone. The Cooper Gang now has a new goal in tracking down the Claw Gang members, stealing the Clockwerk parts, and putting an end to their villainous plans. Sly, Bentley, and Murray's character arcs are the main focus of this story and are masterfully done. Sly goes through a flat character arc where he doesn't really change his viewpoints or motivations, but the scenarios he's put in forces him to face problems head on and reinforces his drive to take down Clockwerk once and for all. Not just for his sake, but for the future of the Cooper clan. Bentley's ascending character arc is the best one, as he goes from so scared of the outside world that he rarely ever wants to leave the safe house to someone who is willing to do anything for his friends, even facing down individual Claw Gang members. Throughout the first third of the story, Bentley is nervous about field work, and even when he goes out to complete his tasks, it's something that he really doesn't feel confident in. At the climax of episode 3 going into episode 4, he has to step up and save his friends from prison. After saving Sly and Murray, Bentley gains confidence that he was missing and fully embraces his role as the brains of the Cooper Gang. Murray goes through an interesting character arc as it starts ascending, goes to flat, and then goes to a sharp decline. His ascending arc begins with the knowledge of the previous game. In Sly Cooper and the Thieves Raccoonus, Murray was just the getaway driver, but now in Sly 2, he's added a new skill set and role, that being the muscle of the team, and even renaming himself as The Murray. For the majority of the game, Murray goes through a flat character arc similar to Sly, where he doesn't really change, but the scenario he's in forces him to take action until the end of the story. The sharp descent takes hold when Bentley gets crippled by Clockla and Murray blames himself for what happened, leading him to leaving the team in Sly 3, Honor Among Thieves. Murray's character arc is interesting as the direction of it changes suddenly and dramatically. The last thing I'll bring up when it comes to the story are the antagonists. The Claw Gang is the best villain organization in the series. Each member brings a unique personality, backstory, threat level, and contribution to the overall narrative. Dimitri is goofy and out of touch with the rest of society. Rajan is overly confident and boastful with a lord complex. The Contessa is pragmatic yet dismissive of others' intelligence. John Bison is just a guy from the wrong era, but also kind of racist.
I wouldn't expect one of your kind to understand the finer points of commerce. You turtles are too stupid to know a woodcutter from a woodchuck.
Arpeggio is a super genius with severe self-esteem issues. And Neyla is a master of manipulation both of people and opportunities. Culminating in this group of crazy people that, when taken down, feels so cathartic. To end this segment, Sly 2 Band of Thieves has a great story because of the quality of its plot, characters, themes, pacing, etc., and delivers it perfectly. The graphics got a significant upgrade from the first game. All aspects have been improved from character models, environments, lighting, and more. The art style has gone through some changes. The most significant changes are in the beginning and ending episode cutscenes. They went from over-the-top colorful and cartoony to a more down-to-earth, tonally colorful and serious look. The environments are more dark as most of the episodes takes place in the evening or at night. This shift in art style is to complement the change in tone when it comes to the scenarios the Cooper gang gets themselves into, as the stakes are way higher than in Sly 1. Just like Sly 1, Sly 2 runs smoothly on all current versions of the game. The sound design has been tweaked in certain areas, like the addition of enemy footsteps to help locate them, and when you're near an enemy the music quiets down and your footsteps take over. Sly 2 has lots of fantastic music, around the same quality as Sly 1. Here are some of my favorites. Once again, the voice actors does a great job bringing these characters to life. Like I said in my previous review, the voice actors for the Cooper Gang really shows that brotherhood dynamic between them and brings some fantastic deliveries from the serious to the funny moments.
Wow, you've really thought of everything.
Don't I always?
Yeah, you do. Thanks for busting me out.
Oh, well, you know the old saying, if you can't count on a friend to bust you out of jail, what kind of a friend are they?
Truer words were never said, wizard.
Thanks, pal. I was getting a Charlie horse standing in that box.
My pleasure. You know how I love to mess around with Carmelita.
Yeah, that's weird. See you back at the safe house.
That mojo is a powerfully dark force. Take any damage while carrying that collector and you're done for.
Wow, sounds hard.
Yes, it presents an interesting tactical challenge. Perhaps I could use the death traps native to these crypts against any foe that might attempt to thwart my collection of the ectoplasm.
Huh? No way that'll work. I'd use that switch to smash up the guards before they ever got near me.
Precisely.
Major shoutouts to the actors voicing the Claw Gang. David Scully as Dimitri and Rajan, Gloria Mannon as the Contessa, Ross Douglas as John Bison, Sam Mowry as Arpeggio, and Alicia Glidewell as Neyla are all awesome villains and my favorite villain group in the series thanks to their writing and acting. Now let's jump into my strengths and weaknesses of Sly 2. The story got majorly upgraded in depth, stakes, and character dynamics. Sly 2 takes the simple and relatable story of Sly 1 and expands upon it. Sly, Bentley, and Murray all grow as characters and changes dramatically from where they was in the previous game. The Claw Gang is a vastly better villain organization than the Fiendish Five, with a master plan that only makes sense when you learn about all the pieces involved. The pendulum-like story progression is engaging because the Cooper Gang for the first third of the story wins versus the Claw Gang easily, but then bam, the betrayal from Neyla changes everything, and the Cooper Gang is constantly either on a tight time limit for their plans or is so greatly disadvantaged in the current situation. The episode's structure from a long treasure hunt adventure in Sly 1 to a mission-based plan leading to a heist in Sly 2 was a great decision, as it shows the evolution of the Cooper Gang being more of a team rather than Sly doing everything on the field. It also helps with the pacing, as each mission objective leads to the heist, making everything you do matter and not feel like bloat. Lastly, the structure works better because of the multiple playable characters. Each member plays differently, and so each mission they complete matters, since in most cases only the playable character can complete it. The power-ups got a complete overhaul. As I went over earlier, the controls are different, but more importantly the strength and usefulness of them are vastly better. Nearly every power-up is useful, if not they're fun to use, unlike some of the power-ups in Sly 1 that are useless and not fun to use. My favorites are the Feral Pounce, Hover Pack, and Fists of Flame for Sly, Bentley, and Murray respectively. Special shout out to my favorite Vault power-up, that being the Voltage Attack. The additional content in Sly 2 is not as good as Sly 1. The returning clue bottles is good, and the Hub World treasures are a good addition, but getting rid of the Master Thief Sprint challenges and not replacing them with something just as challenging and replayable was a bad decision. Also, the extra movies are cool, but not as much as Sly 1's, and the developer audio tracks can't be matched as a completion reward. In comparison to other platformers at the time, like Ratchet & Clank Up Your Arsenal, Jak 3, Crash Twinsanity, and SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom, Sly 2 Band of Thieves holds up as a early 2000s classic. Thanks to its great story, relatable characters, fun gameplay, and decent optional collectibles, this game does stand the test of time, and it's proven as Sly 2 is one of the best reviewed platformers of its time. Sly 2 Band of Thieves overall targets gamers that love platformers and fans who love Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus. In terms of replayability, Sly 2, similar to Sly 1, after 100% completion, there is technically no reason to replay the game, but also like Sly 1, Sly 2's story and character details become better after the first playthrough. I give Sly 2 Band of Thieves a 5 out of 5, a perfect score. Sly 2 is my favorite game of all time. It's perfect in every aspect that I find valuable in a video game. The story, perfect. The characters, perfect. The gameplay, perfect. The music, perfect. And even though the additional content is slightly worse than Sly 1, it's not significant enough to ruin my experience. In a roundabout way, Sly 2 having less additional content makes it easy to 100% complete the game, and easier that I can restart my playthrough and re-experience the story and characters again. I believe Sly 2 Band of Thieves is a must-play video game. Leaving this review with a personal story, Sly 2 Band of Thieves was my very first video game. I was 6 years old at the time, and my cousin had the game on his PlayStation 2. The only thing I did was run around the hub world of Episode 2, trying to figure out how video games worked. Eventually, I got my own PlayStation 2, and Sly 2 was the first game I got, beginning my love of video games. With all that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If so, please support the channel by hitting the like and subscribe button. Remember to check out my links in the description. That's all I have for today, so have a good evening everyone, and I will see you guys in the next review. Sayonara.